Hey guys, welcome to Faz Radio. Let's get started. Say something.
Hi.
There you go. Yeah, I did a thing today. I bought a very expensive play to earn thing. Did you see in our secret room what thing I bought?
I did. I was going to ask you about that. What brought on the sudden unloosening of your anal cavity on those gala tokens?
Well, I asked our mutual friend what he thought about, pulling money out, because he flips a lot more than we do, and a lot more than I do. And so he was like, well, if things go bad with Gary Gensler, you may want to have cashed some of it out by then. And there's a couple things. Then there's a I've been buying more stuff for Townstar because I want to make more money with my money. Not a lot of people have it, and they're about as rare as potion shops are. I do have a number of potion shops. My goal has been to get the rare items. And really, a lot of it's informed by Townstar. The more I play Townstar and I see that certain people have rare things, I see how much money they're making on the rare things. You and I keep having conversations on Discord, and basically you keep saying how I trust Gala Games more than you do. I do. I trust them a lot more. I trusted them in the very beginning when I was agonizing over spending $1,500 on a node. Just agonizing. It's funny how where the money can come from after you've agonized a lot.
It's one of those things where it's relative risk. I don't have a lot of trust for Gala. It's what I can say. I can say this. It hasn't continued to go down, my trust level for Gala, as it had the first 9 months of the year. So it has stopped going down, but it has not gone back up yet, if that makes any sense. Well, and I was just going to say, the second part of that is simply the amount of risk versus where you're currently sitting. You are in a much better place with Gala tokens than I am, and overall assets versus where I am. So going into that is much less for you than it is for me. That's all. I did sell quite a few, and the profits of those went over to the Neverhood Clays. I did not reinvest in Mirandus. The only thing I did pick up a tavern not too long ago, maybe a month ago, and I resold it at a profit within like 2 weeks. So that was pretty good. I still have a tavern. I'm going to keep, I think, what I have. I took the sales off that I had. I think I'm going to just keep those in my pocket for when the game comes out. Now that Townstars come out, I can see that the NFTs are worth potentially a lot more than I had anticipated.
So, well, Townstar surprised me a lot too, because one, I was not dialed in to the play to earn aspect of it. We had that unstoppable domain stuff going on with the free domains, and I was buying things in other areas, and I feel like I got really surprised with the Townstar stuff. So just got my mother-in-law into it.
I remember you saying that, yeah.
Bought a Bit True Wheat last night, just for her. So just like I did with Discord, where I wanted to get better with crypto, so I invited, so I made a crypto Discord. I want to get better with Townstar, so of course I'm gonna pull it into the Discord and start talking about Townstar stuff. It's one of the reasons people will come over here. I think I'm going to need to have a pay to earn section of this Discord now. Play to earn, whatever, same difference. Going to have a play to earn section of this Discord just so I can be up on things. I find out more things from other people.
Well, that would be a good marketing angle too, because you could, if you broke it into like Gala and Axie and everything else, people who play the other games might be interested in coming in too.
So for that play to earn, if you noticed, everybody that's in that room, they have an icon next to their name.
Oh, look at that. Hey, that's kind of neat.
Okay. So really what that is each person has an icon. You will now notice that you have an icon that looks sort of like mine, just no anchor. Now, if you hover over it, it'll show your role.
Oh, okay.
So that will show the highest role that you have. So at Tolf here, if you hover over his little penny, little cent sign there, it says play to earn.
Play to earn, yeah.
Now, if you happen to be an upperclassman, the upperclassman one will replace that because that's a higher level than the play to earn. This will help you when managing people because you can see immediately where they are in the spectrum of things.
Okay.
I plan to have an icon for every level. Eventually, this play to earn is going to be viewable by everyone, but the only people that can type in it will have the play to earn logo on here.
Oh, look at this. This is in every room.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. That's kind of cool.
Now you'll notice if you look at the student, one of them looks like both the student and the upperclassman look like the zip bug that's been given to you.
Aye. Hey, this is neat.
They're like a mini version of that zip bug.
I like this.
So right away, you can tell what people are, whether they're associated with the Discord or not.
Wow, look at you go. You are making this one heck of a nice Discord.
So that's what you'll have to have in order to post in this play to earn room. And I want to do that because not everybody does play to earn. In the Gala stuff room, if you notice on the description, it says if you're a student, if you're a Gala Gold and whatever, you have access to more rooms. So every once in a while, people will ask me about that, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm Gala Gold, just out of nowhere. I'm Gala Gold. Okay, let me go check." A lot of times, if I see somebody new with a white name, I'll just go and look at the Gala Discord anyway, and then like a lot of these people, I'll just do that because it's just a onesie twosie kind of thing. So right now, if you're a student, you get the student role. If you are some recognized member of another Discord like Gala, I think that should be higher than a student because it would show that you're recognized for what you had. However, upperclassmen, that outweighs what you do on other Discords. That means you're actually paying attention and doing active things over here. So upperclassmen will trump any Gala stuff. Eventually, yes, I do hope to get Decentraland and Axie and other people over here. I just haven't been working on it, and we don't know people. I've tried to get Splinterlands people over here, but it's, people like their own thing. These NFTs basically make it so that I can get to profitable sooner, and then I do less work to get my stuff. They've had a couple articles now saying that it's going to get a lot harder, but I've played SimCity enough in my life. I think I'll be able to adapt to anything they can throw at me.
In our conversation, you mentioned unstoppable domains.
Mm-hmm.
They have flipped over to the Matic network now.
Polygon, yep.
And it is free to mint now, with a caveat. That caveat being they do not have the ability to do anything with those domains yet on the Matic network. So like how you can build the website and use their templates, they don't have that set up yet.
Mm-hmm.
But you're able to claim any of them that you want onto the Polygon network, which I thought was very interesting.
I'll put that on my list of things to do.
I have probably 10 domains I need to go mint.
I would assume that they give you a way to take a Polygon domain and move it over to Ethereum.
No.
Oh.
All the well, okay, so I shouldn't say that because I don't know for sure. I checked earlier this week because I had gotten an email from them saying, "Hey, we're live with this. Come check it out." And so I went to go check it out. And sure enough, it's, mint for free onto Polygon, and there's a little box up there where you can click, and it tells you, "Hey, we've got this implemented so far so you can claim them, but unfortunately, we have not ramped up yet to where you can do anything with these." Now, I would imagine, I didn't do it yet, but I would imagine you could claim it and then go sell it on OpenSea as long as you use the Matic network. I don't see why not.
Yeah, that would make sense. Well, it'd be good for ones that I'm squatting. 10 years from now, nobody's going to care about the blockchain. It's going to be a thing. 10 years from now, you're going to be like, wow, I got some clays on the Bitcoin blockchain with that new upgrade they did. Wow, really? You're like the only clay on the Bitcoin blockchain. That's pretty good. It'll be something kind of cool. And then after a while, it's going to be, people won't even know where it is at. It'll be an issue when you try to transfer it. It's like, okay, I need to get this to you. Oh, my wallet doesn't take Bitcoin. Well, hook it up to Bitcoin so that you can take it. Okay, well, I got to do that. Once I do that, then you can send it to me. And hooking it up is going to be literally make me an account. You're going to tell the provider, just make me an account, and it does it. Just like right now with your bank, you ask your bank to make you an account. They run you through a rigmarole, and then they make the damn account for you. I've made accounts on my bank through the internet for the last 7 years now. They just make an account for me. They have my KYC information, and they just do it. Same thing with all the other cryptos out there. Banks are going to start handling cryptos, in my opinion. They're going to provide those services, or if that's the opportunity, if they get off their ass. If they don't get off their ass, somebody else is going to do that for you. And then Trust Wallet is just going to own the world or something. Be like, well, I need a Bitcoin wallet on here. And they'll be like, okay, just type in keys. Boom, you're there. I mean, it's almost that easy right now.
I think blockchain won't matter which blockchain you're on. 5 years from now, it'll automatically and seamlessly just route itself. You say, it'll go to the
blockchain with the least amount of fee or traffic, and it'll be like, how much do you want to pay? I don't want to pay more than 15 cents. Okay, well, that chops these off, and then you're just going to go over Stellar or XRP or whatever, and then it'll just pick one of those three. It'll just be like, which one has the highest throughput? Okay, XRP today, Stellar tomorrow. Okay, here you go.
Right.
And it'll just be some of that background stuff. You'd be like, okay, you got your stuff. Can you click on the header? Open the header. I'm just curious what blockchain it went on.
Right.
I used to do that when email came out in 1995, when I was living in a college town with my girlfriend. Whenever an email would come to me, I would go check the header and just see where it came from, how it was routed here, how it got here. And it was interesting because I kind of kept up with that stuff. I couldn't interact with it as much, but that's going to be a header. Sending money is going to be like sending an email now. Your phone's just going to hook up to it. It's going to be a little bit of annoyance to hook up your phone, but once it's hooked up, you're just going to send money. Boom. And it'll probably be Samsung or Apple Pay or something, or PayPal's, or just some application, PayPal's application. PayPal wants to do that. That's why they're buying and selling crypto right now. They want to be able to, PayPal, I believe, is considered a bank right now. And so if you're buying and selling crypto and doing transactions on crypto, that's the same thing as what they're doing with money.
Well, they're getting closer and closer to banks custodying all the crypto anyway. I can't remember if it was one of the big ones. I want to say Chase, but I could be wrong there. Just got the quote authority to begin custodying what was approved assets, and I just skimmed the article. I don't remember what that was. I would imagine probably Bitcoin and ETH.
So in 2017, when I first heard of Bitcoin, it became my thought that banks would eventually custody Bitcoin. And what I would have to do, well, what I wanted to accumulate a lot of Bitcoin and crypto at that time because I didn't want banks to custody it. I figured that they would custody all the new stuff. I figured if you had Bitcoin in wallets, that, it would be yours until you sent it to a bank. And so that's why I started accumulating crypto myself on my own keys, my own hardware wallets, because I'm custodying it. Eventually, banks are going to be doing all the easy custody. It's going to be like, well, you could do this yourself and do the 57 steps, or you could just do it through us and just click here. And so I wanted to get a sizable amount of crypto before the banks took over the world. And then it's been 4 years and the banks still haven't done it because they're still fighting it. But it's still going to happen. Banks will adapt. The country will adapt. The United States will pick a set of coins that they're fine with banks doing, and you'll be able to trade A, B, C, and D crypto on your regular bank. And of course, depending on what bank you go to, there might be another one. Be like gasoline octanes, types of gasoline at your gas station. And companies will pick their cryptos depending on how easy it is. That's why you see a lot of them doing Bitcoin, Litecoin, and other Bitcoin derivatives, because they all use the same programming language. Bitcoin is one language. Ether and all the Ethereum knockoffs and all the Ethereum tokens, that's another language. XRP, that's something totally different. That's another reason why they're not doing XRP right away, is because we're going to have to implement something totally different. So any totally different coin, they're gonna chafe at. And then if you wanted to do something with your coin, then you're going to have to do the successor to Uniswap, and then somehow get it to Bitcoin or Ethereum so that you can get it to your bank.
Do you think they're going to treat it like fiat? If you deposit 10 Bitcoin in there, they're going to loan out.
They're going to hypothecate the shit out of your money, out of your crypto. I think. Oh my God, that's what exchanges do. So you wonder why BitTrue won't let you take money off of their exchange sometimes. It's because they don't have it. It's theirs. If it's your wallet, if it's a exchange wallet, you don't own it. So what they can easily do is just come up with a. I can't say I know for sure, but what they can easily do is say you have XRP on there. They can simply say, okay, well, we have BitTrue XRP, and you're actually trading that behind the scenes. And you want to get XRP off, and it says that's going to be a 2-day hold. They're not holding it because they're being assholes. They're holding it because they don't have it, in my opinion. They might hold it due to security reasons, but there's been time. They might not even hold it. They may just shut down the wallet and say, well, wallet transactions are stopped for a while. I kind of came to this conclusion because I had some REN a long time ago, and I saw that BitTrue had REN. And before I really paid too much attention, I sent 15 REN over to BitTrue to make sure it went over. And that was just, REN wasn't worth very much. So it went over, and now it's on the exchange. I have 15 REN over there. Well, it didn't show up over there. And so I had to get with the BitTrue people and find out what's going on. They're like, okay, yeah, it's there. You'll see it there now. And I said, well, I can't send it. I can't receive. Well, I can receive, but I can't send it and I can't trade it. And they said, oh, That's because we don't have enough in order to trade yet. When we get a certain amount, then we will.
Wow.
So I can't take it off. Well, no, you can't take it off right now because we're doing things and this is how we hold it and whatever, whatever. Well, it was only 15 Rand, so I don't care. But the point is that money is not your money. That's they're just being nice and letting you claim that money. But it's and obviously it would be bad if they tried to take ownership of everybody's money. But the moment that they're required to take ownership, it's theirs. They can get it. They simply shut off your account. That account now is their stuff. But there's all sorts of shenanigans that they could play with that too. So, long story short, that's not your money, and they're lying to you about how much of your money is on there. You never know the truth. They can, and it's what you can look in. So if you're given a wallet address on Bitrue, you can look in there, but you don't see all the transactions. It's some sort of gateway address. So there's obviously a private wallet in there. Banks want to do the same thing. Banks with your money right now, they play that obfuscation game. And I know that banks working with Ripple, the first thing they requested is, hey, we don't want these transactions to be public. We want them to be private. And so Ripple was like, oh, you can make a private XRP chain, subchain or whatever. And then they showed them how, and that's how they do it. And so you see money going into the bank and out of the bank, but you don't see the money going into accounts. They distribute that up, and that's on a separate chain, and you'll never get the data on that. But the feds will, apparently. So that's how banks want to do things. And the feds, once they can, because that's how they do it with money. And the feds will come in, they'll put more requirements on them. They'll be like, okay, if Titan sends $50, I want you to hold it, and I want you to do this. And if he sends it to anyone we don't like, either don't send it or send it and flag us, kind of thing. So they got you by the balls, man.
So then what's the point of decentralization?
The point of decentralization is to make things decentralized. What do you mean in reference to?
So you were just talking about the ability to have the government step in and monitor transactions. And if I can only assume you were still talking about like XRP.
Mm-hmm, sure.
So if XRP has the intervention mechanisms in place where the government can analyze a transaction before it's sent or put a hold on it, then how is that any different than, okay, that's where you lost me, because I was like, that makes no sense.
So XRP, if you, okay, so banks have a private chain, with XRP if they're going to do it. And what they simply do is they intervene. When you go press that button, send your XRP, it's going to go, okay. And then they might maybe use the XRP escrow function to hold it or something for 2 days because they have a policy or something. They can, since they have your keys, your private keys, they can do anything to your account that you can do with your account right now. So it's not so it's in essence, it's not decentralized by practice. The blockchain itself, that's decentralized. The blockchain doesn't require a bank to run it. The bank just happens to be running its own subchain. Okay, I could run my own subchain at home too, if I wanted to. And then if you could, I could have you put money on my sub in your wallet, in my subchain, and I can laugh all I want when you can't get it off.
So why would you want to do something like that?
Convenience.
Give me an okay, convenience.
That's why you do anything. That's why big entities do anything for you. This concept first came about that I'm aware of when ketchup started being made. Ketchup is basically smashed tomatoes. And in the early 1900s, somebody decided to bottle smashed the tomatoes. And lo and behold, people bought that shit. Why? Because they didn't want to take all the time to make it. Okay, well, go forward 100 or so years, and now you want to send a transaction to Bitrue. Well, you got to go get the wallet, this complicated wallet address. You got to get this. You got to make sure that Coinbase will send to Bitrue. It's got to support it. it's not blacklisted and stuff like that. Or you could just press this button right here and get it to our Coinbase approved exchange or our federally approved exchange. You're going to use the federally approved exchange. I would too. If I want the money like yesterday, I'm going to do things in a certain way and try to take advantage of that. If I could make more money on BitTrue and Coinbase doesn't support sending to BitTrue, then I'll make it on BitTrue, and then I'll have to go and make my money, go through all the steps with my money in order to get it out of Coinbase. I make sure my account is KYC'd and stuff like that.
So you don't think that the ability of someone like Kraken in Wyoming with their bank they're setting up is going to be able to change the standard banking model and make it more of the wallet-to-wallet, peer-to-peer type arrangement? And you think that, I mean, is that I think personally it's going to go that direction, and your Kraken bank or any bank that focuses on this sector is going to work like a giant ledger device or like a giant Gemini.
So these banks are regulated by the U.S. government. Kraken had to get permission to be a bank. So so if you're saying, is it going to be like Kraken? If the federal government says it's okay, yes. I get a strong feeling the federal government is not going to say that that's okay. The federal government, I think, will want to have their fingers deep into how any crypto bank, as it were, does things. And they're going to regulate every part of it. And they're going to say, okay, if you have a crypto bank, you need to be able to reverse transactions. You need to be able to stop transactions. You need to be able to filter transactions and, apply our 57 God million money laundering rules to it. Then you can be a crypto bank. So that will come out. That will happen.
Okay, but they've already got their charter. It's not like they're waiting for approval. They already have it.
Who's they?
Kraken.
Kraken is a bank. Yes.
Yes.
They've been federally approved to be a bank. Yeah, what happens when a new law comes that applies to all banks? Kraken has to change. So, yeah, they've got their charter, but, I mean, if more laws are going to come out and refine what they're doing, they're not grandfathered in. You won't be able to – fine, they're a bank right now. They can do some bank things right now. That is until the regulation gets refined. The regulation is not refined right now.
Yeah, I understand, but it's going to be a different breed. And I think you're going to find that the key banks, the Chase, the Bank of Americas aren't going to want to move too much. I think they're going to want everything else
yes,
to
they
adapt
will.
to them. I'm not sure they're willing to do that.
Well, banks need money. If you have $1 million, $2 million, $3 million in crypto funds, banks want and need that money. They want to rehypothecate it out to other things. There's all sorts of shenanigans they could do with your crypto. You wouldn't do it with crypto, and it's not allowed on the blockchain to do it with crypto, but the banks can do it because they're allowed to do that shit. So they will climb all over each other in order to hold your money for you so that they could do all sorts of nasty things to that money.
Okay, so I understand that, but where I was going was, I think we see this moving towards the self-custody bank part. I don't. We moved from having to go into brick and mortar to get banking business done.
That's a really new concept. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you so quickly. That's a really new concept, self-custodying on that kind of level. I mean, yes, you can self-custody your cash by sticking it in a safe in your house, but it's another thing when you self-custody cash that goes back and forth and you can pay people with online. Usually it's Visa that does that, or a bank or whatever. Guess what? Visa and MasterCard, they're getting into the arena. They want to custody your money too, because they can make money off of it. And if Visa and MasterCard get ahead of the banks, well, then you won't be seeing much of banks. You'll be seeing maybe Visa and MasterCard licensed partners. They'll say, we're a Visa bank. That means we can store your crypto. It's not going to be Visa going, we're storing your crypto on such and such bank. It's probably going to be the other way around, in my opinion.
Well, what I was working on saying was that we've gone from, hey, you have to go into the bank in order to get money, to moving to ATMs, then moving to online, then moving to mobile. Now there is a very, from what I read at least, a very significant portion of online only banks that people use. They use direct deposit and right. So the shift is going there. You don't think that with this explosion of technology, with what these do, and with what crypto, how it operates, you don't think it's going to move back into that self-custody part where, I mean, a lot of these blockchains and a lot of these networks, they don't need to have an online bank. You only need an online bank if you want fiat. But the way things are moving, like right now, you can go and get a BlockFi card that is connected to your BlockFi account, and then you have the quote pseudo bank behind there that runs all that stuff. But that card can go directly into Apple Pay. So you don't need even an online bank, because everything in your BlockFi account, your crypto, can go right into your BlockFi card, which can be used with Apple Pay, and I can go pay for my gas using Apple Pay, and it'll automatically hit the BlockFi card, which takes out of my crypto and sells it automatically, and I get my tax download from BlockFi every year, and I file my taxes.
You're stacking a lot of concepts. Let's stop here. So BlockFi, I've investigated all these cards, and because I wanted to have one. The way that the BlockFi card works is not the way you think it does. You have to read the text. The way the BlockFi card works, and Coinbase card works, and so on, have some really creative mechanisms that all lead you back to a bank account. So you cannot custody money without being a bank. And in order to do this, I think you told me yourself, you actually have to get those accounts from somewhere else. A bank has to somehow rent them or borrow them or buy them or something. They have to get those accounts. And BlockFi's, I know Coinbase's card for a fact is this special account, special debit account. What you're doing is you're getting a special crypto account and a special bank account. And if you want to use that card, you preload that debit account by selling crypto into that debit account. So you kind of load it up, and then you can use it like a debit card. BlockFi doesn't automate much more than that. There's a banking component to it where there's a bank account and then there's crypto being bought and sold from these accounts. But by no means is it all automatic. There's some stuff that you have to get in and do to make sure that things balance. What you think when you have a BlockFi card is, I just have it, I point it to my crypto account, and then it uses it. No, that's not what happens. There's a bank account in the middle. Why? Because obviously, if you're going to pay a vendor, you've got to pay them in cash, so that money's got to get to cash. Well, they're not going to convert your crypto to their money and then pay them themselves. No, they're going to convert crypto to a fiat account in your name, and then you're going to approve that. I believe the BlockFi card might even have a couple approvals that you need to do. Look up the fine print on the BlockFi card, because my wife and I looked through it, and there's bank accounts in there, which I did not like. And there's holding money and holding crypto, and it was a lot more complicated than you'd think. About the what purpose does a bank have that you were asking? Banks exist really fundamentally to provide services. The first banks basically gave you access to your money, and they held the money, and they needed to stay in business, so they needed to loan it out. And when they loaned it out, they would make money off of your money, but whenever you needed money, they would hand you money. So that's a service to provide you access to money. It just so happens that the blockchain can do that too. Okay. Well, over the years, banks do more than just give you access to money. They give you loans. They do all sorts of additional services. They help you buy a house. They do home loans. They have their own loan processors. They have, do all sorts of mortgage stuff. Any area that's fairly complicated, they'll want to get into and make it easier for you. I just tried to do a home refi recently, and I was dealing with bank employees who were going through their steps. And they had a bunch of things I had to fill out and collect for them and get them, and they would remind me, and that was a nice service because they helped me through the process. I wound up deciding not to do it, but if this were with crypto, they would do that with crypto too, unless there is a way to buy somebody's house on the crypto blockchain with that quick. Well, the reason why you have like a bank or a mortgage processor going through all these documents is all these documents are required by law. You can't just buy a house with crypto right now. You can't just spend $100,000, $200,000 in crypto and just give me that house. No, it has to go through it has to be inspected. It has to have the appraisal. It has to have, the termite inspection. It has to have all these different things that loan processors go through. That still needs to happen. Somebody will have to do it. Banks will do that. They'll just be saying, we take crypto as well as cash. So banks have a role in this world. They're kind of figuring out what their job is supposed to be in regards to crypto, because they're not always given money. Sometimes they're told to just invent money. Whenever a bank makes a loan, it's because they've been allowed to make a loan by the Federal Reserve. And so they tell the Federal Reserve, okay, we made $1 million of loans this month. And they go, okay, that fits with the amount of money that we wanted to print. So, okay, you can do 1 million more next month. When you're dealing with crypto, you can't do that. There is no Federal Reserve involved. It's the blockchain. And so they can only loan what they have. And that's something I don't think they're used to doing. If BlockFi knows how to do that, BlockFi will get ahead. But it'll definitely be a separate department in a bank where like, oh, you're doing a Bitcoin loan. Okay, yeah, go over to these guys because you actually have to have actual numbers with them. We can't just, bullshit our way through this. And the business has to get used to. They know how to take money out of accounts and put money into accounts, but I don't think they know how to actually balance things.
It will be interesting to see how the economy adapts to this.
The economy is used to cash transactions, and we've been taking cash transactions away with credit cards and with the pandemic. Cash transactions are intuitively easy to understand. Credit card transactions are not, because we think I have $1,000 limit, I can spend $1,000. Not so. When you go spend it, when you go make that purchase, about 27 different things happen after you make that purchase, and some computer decides, okay, front him the money. Sometimes you'll go over. And then it'll be like, oh, we spotted you the money, but we're charging you a fee for that. We always spot you up to $1,000, 25% more than your higher balance. In order to spot you that money, they have to do a quick check on you. Is Titan a good person? Do we think he's good for the money? Okay, so people think that it just goes and checks a balance and then you're approved or denied. No, you're approved or denied based upon a lot of things.
That's awesome news to hear. I mean, I didn't think that deeply into it. I don't generally go to my limits on anything, so I never thought about that.
There's a lot of antiquated systems that need to communicate with each other for a credit card transaction to happen. Money still has to settle, And so the credit card transaction that you make today is not going to settle for 3 days. So if you go buy food from a restaurant, you may find out 3 days later that you went over. The bank will probably, at that point, once they figure it out later during the settlement process, they'll be like, oh, we can either spot him the money or charge him a fee for bouncing. Well, since we obviously covered it because our algorithm wasn't smart enough, so we're gonna charge him a bounce fee. So he's gonna owe us that money back right now in order to use that card, and he has to pay the money back. Or, like I said, there's some quick checks with you right away. If you can go over a limit, they'll be like, well, we've been trying to get him to go over a limit for a while, and what do you know? He went over a limit, so approved. But there's a lot of antiquated systems, old COBOL machines in the middle of that. Credit cards are really kind of a hedge. They're kind of a lie. They're just keeping an alternate ledger, really.
Today's day and age, that's how people use money, though.
People always used money like that. It's just so much easier to do it now. It's a task for the federal government to find out how much real money is flying around and how much credit is flying around. And I know that the United States is far above its head as far as, credit versus cash. Just the average family. We're all far over our heads. And so it's one of the reasons that they print up money is because if they didn't, then everybody would start not being able to pay their bills, and then major parts of the economy would start buckling. Trump printed money, Biden printed money, Obama printed money, everybody before him up to Nixon printed money. They're doing it because that's how the fiat system works. Before Nixon, they didn't, because we didn't have a fiat system at that time. But this is the only way to keep things working. And of course, each time Trump printed up $5 trillion. Who cares? Just money. Well, when you print up money, that's a tax on the individual. You're making the money worth less. And instead of a congressionally approved tax, you're having a fiat written tax taken out of all of our asses. If they can devalue the dollar 10 cents, they've gotten a lot of money. And we've lost money. But we don't feel like we've lost it until 6 months later when the supply chain catches up.
The fiat system, in theory, on paper, looks tremendous, but there's a lot of things that have to go on in the background in order for it to work.
The fiat system has about 70 levels of lies in it, and they apparently all line up. I say apparently because they're so hard to keep track of all the lies. But yes, they do apparently all line up at a certain point. And the way they line up is your great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren's salaries are paying for the credit that you're using today, or that the United States is using today. That's the only way it can line up. We're spending money we don't have. And we're promising to pay it later and later.